This morning we are talking health with Dr. Scot Ackerman. The fight against breast cancer can be frightening. It can be overwhelming. And having the correct tools and information will really help patients make a decision that's right for them when it comes to treatment. Joining me now to talk more about both of these topics is Dr. Scot Ackerman and Jennifer Henry, who was treated at Ackerman Cancer Center earlier this year. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
And Jennifer, thank you for coming and sharing your story.
My pleasure.
I think that it means so much to our viewers to hear from someone who's gone through this. You have that expertise, I think, that you could share with others who might receive this diagnosis or have so recently. And there's some major takeaways, I think, from your journey, and one of them is really kind of being an advocate for yourself. I think there's a tendency that we rely on just the doctor, and the reality is you need to do your own homework as well.
That's right. We oftentimes think when you get a big diagnosis like this that you are going to be put on a conveyor belt and just pushed right on through the system, and it really doesn't have to be like that. I learned that you do have choices about what your care and your treatments, and you just need to be informed about those choices.
And making sure you ask those questions then of your doctor. I think that, and Dr. Ackerman, you're busy, right? You know,
Right.
But the reality is that you always have to be available for your patient.
Right, absolutely. Patients have lots of questions, and I think the patients are owed the right to have their questions answered and answered in a very thorough way. We as physicians are busier all the time. It's demanding to see more patients, but really, when a patient's diagnosed with cancer, it's really appropriate that it's explained to them properly and thoroughly what their options are, what their treatment plan is, and developing a customized treatment plan for that patient based on his or her specific diagnosis and specific other issues as well and conditions.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because I know that you and I have talked about the importance certainly of a second opinion. I know that you echo that same concern as well. But you did some research on your own also about asking questions about what am I putting into my body? You know, you had radiation and chemotherapy. What kind of research did you do, and what did you find associated with that?
Well, I found when I joined Dr. Ackerman and chose him as my doctor that he did have a lot of those resources for me. He has a whole staff of people that are really supporting the whole person through the journey, because it isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's deep in a lot of areas of your life. So for me, outside of using the resources that I was given, I also did my own research. I read a lot of books, collaborated with a lot of other breast cancer survivors to really find out what was going to be the best plan for me particularly.
It's interesting too, Dr. Ackerman, as well, is because as busy as life gets for physicians as well as parents, the reality is I know I've asked this question of myself. I have my father was diagnosed with cancer and is doing well, but the reality is you start doing research on your own and you wonder, are the doctors as up to date on the latest and greatest research that's out there?
Well, we try to be. We participate in meetings. I travel around the country, participating in a lot of meetings, staying up to date and current about cancer treatment, cancer diagnosis. Patients bring me things all the time, and I certainly welcome them to Google and bring questions and issues to me. It really makes me better. It makes me sharper, because sometimes someone will share something with me that I wasn't aware of, and I'll do more research or I'll collaborate with other physicians about it. So I kind of welcome that.
And it's interesting too, because listening is so important, as you know. In fact, you had expressed concerns to Dr. Ackerman about whether or not perhaps cancer had spread, and that led you then, and I know that that's standard procedure certainly to look at when someone has been diagnosed with cancer, but that led for you, to order an MRI.
Well, it's very important that you listen to your patients. I find that when patients tell me something, I never take it lightly. If they have a certain complaint about maybe a little nausea, a little pain here, a little itch there or something, I take those things very seriously, and we as physicians need to make sure we act on that and evaluate that thoroughly. There's many times where physicians and health practitioners are busy and they tend to blow off some symptoms, but these symptoms the patients are having are real, and so it's very important that we look into that and figure out what's going on. And that helped Jennifer, and that really saved Jennifer.
And how are you doing? You look fantastic.
Thank you. I'm doing really well. It's been a year and 2 months now, and life is better than ever. I'm enjoying life. I'm thankful for the care that I received. I'm thankful for life. And now I just want to share my journey with other women, because there will be more behind me. And I just want them to know there's hope, and there's a way to get through this with your head held high.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Dr. Ackerman, always a pleasure. Do appreciate it.